Welcome! This is Donna Time Studios' wonderful little podcast called the Lonely Time Podcast, where we get together and we try to make your day just a little bit better, you know? Because it's a lonely world out there. And we're here to, I don't know, add some companionships.
Yeah. The point of the Lonely
Nishant.
Time Podcast is the fact that the people listening to it probably know what's happening in this world and probably know that a lot of the stuff that's happening in this world really sucks. So we try not to talk about it because you don't need more of that. You don't need more of that reminding you. So we won't talk about current events, politics, whatever, or at least we'll try and shy away from that.
Mm-hmm. Unless they're
I'm
spicy.
Nishant. I'm Nishant, and I get interrupted by everyone.
Nice.
By me, particularly, yeah. I'm Mikkel, the best member of this crew.
Hi, Mikkel. What do you do?
Nothing.
What are your
Nothing
What are your
at all.
abilities?
What's your stat sheet?
Yeah.
Huh?
What's your strength at?
What's
He
your,
does not pass go, and he does not collect $200.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
much it. I don't collect
Important
any money,
thing.
actually.
We have a wonderful, beautiful new guest. His name is
Dick Muncher.
Lord. No, his name is Lord Pansyface III.
I thought it
Oh,
was Mean
that's
Boy
better.
Daddy. No?
No, Pansy Face is better.
Paul, please
Right.
introduce yourself.
Well, on that note, I am Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Donna Time Studios podcast. This is the
Thanks for
first.
having
This
me.
is the first guest we've had.
Yeah.
Cool.
And would you like to tell everyone a little bit about what your role is in Donna Time Studios?
Sure, but I have to say something very important as the first guest. First,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
First.
Nice.
okay. So first.
First.
Okay, so
Oh,
in Donna
you
Time
said
Studios,
first.
I am a programmer, and I program all the shits.
Nice.
Yeah.
Head coder.
It's a pretty good job.
Donna Time Studios head coder.
It pays pretty good.
Yeah. All those...
Yo, all that YouTube money.
Woo! All right, so
I'm Andrew.
time.
I'm
yeah.
I'm an editor. I'm also a coder at Donna Time Studios. But you didn't care, did you?
I know. I just
Yeah.
completely
Andrew
forgot
and I
about-
work together all the time.
Yeah. Shoot.
They
I need to...
also
Yeah, whatever.
they enjoy each other's company and also sometimes romantic walks on the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Walks on the
Teamwork
beach are
makes
by
the dream
default romantic, unless children are involved.
That's true.
HMU if you're
Sometimes we
interested
go
in...
on romantic walks on the beach, and sometimes we go on even more romantic walks on the beach where we push over little kids into the sand.
Oh, that's adorable.
Beautiful. All right,
Yes.
so we're gonna start with Andrew on what is new.
Well, you guys know what's new with me. Today I bought a DLC for Crusader Kings 2.
Oh, nice.
It's Old Gods DLC, so I get to start rather than starting in like 1000s, 1000s. I get to start in like 876, and now I can actually play as
Convenient.
Lithuania. So like my dream is complete.
Sweet.
I can take over people
So
as
Andrew,
Lithuania.
Hi. acclaimed game developer Nishant Pandya
Hi.
has once described Crusader Kings 2 as a homework ass game. What do you think of that?
How do I feel about that?
Yeah, what do you feel about that?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, square up, man.
I really like strategy games, and people who watched the first episode will know that. But it's a lot to consider. Everything that you do needs to have like two different reasons behind it and one commander. Usually when going into war in a strategy game, it's as easy as building a unit, taking it, and killing someone. But like in this, you have to consider your strength versus the person's strength versus your commanders versus other commanders versus where you want to put those commanders if you want them on flanks and stuff like that. It's a lot of like I can see where you would like call it very homeworky. But I don't know. It just speaks to me. I have a lot of fun with
Have you tried StarCraft at all?
it. No, I've tried RTS, like other RTSs though. I don't know. CK2 has the scale to me that stuff like StarCraft and that other one, whatever, just doesn't as
StarCraft
much.
2?
Yeah. StarCraft 2.
Okay.
But you get the whole map of Europe and stuff like that. So it's like you get to see what you're taking over. It's the same thing with like Civ. I like Civ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what's new with you, Mikkel?
Absolutely nothing. Like, I wanted to do stuff today, but I just got up at noon and nothing happened.
So you didn't go to a super rad hangout with all your best bros recently?
Besties.
Well, no,
No,
that's what I'm
that's
doing now.
Oh, nice.
Mikkel, Mikkel, why are you undermining the podcast? God damn it.
No, I wanted to pay you a compliment. What?
But still.
Well, I
No,
see that
Mikkel.
they're poorly received. I guess I'll just insult you from now on to grade the shit on the podcast.
But
You're gonna follow
God.
Nishant's plan for this, or else.
You're right.
Yeah.
I need to be more depressed and just generally
he's
less.
the king of the server.
optimistic
He can kick you out.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna get exiled from the server after this.
Yeah, of course. Permaband. Placed
Only-
on the plank.
I'll need
Why
to
wait?
wander
Just do it now.
4chan for 40 years. Then I'll come back.
So nothing new
Can't
happened,
do it
Mikkel?
now.
Oh, no. Nothing at all.
All right, Nishant.
Dang.
Anything new?
New things. Me and one of my favorite editors managed to recently put together a little review of a game.
Yeah, that released today.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Donatime Studios.
You should check it out.
New Under
It's
the
on YouTube.
Sun. Episode 1, Prey.
Yep.
Is out there.
Yep, nuts one.
It's fairly well received, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah, there's
the,
already comments on it.
yeah.
One
All
of
the
which
random
one of which
people
is me.
from other-
Yeah.
Really?
All the random
Still.
people.
No.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, the two people
I'm typing a
who
scathing
commented.
review in the comments right now.
Please.
Don't worry about it.
Mikhail's still interrupting me.
Well, that's the tradition at this point, yeah.
Of course. So,
You should be concerned when he stops interrupting you.
Yeah, of course. That means something's wrong.
Then you know something's up.
After.
Yeah, like I've disconnected.
Please continue, Nishant.
So working on the review was a chore. There was a lot of stuff to do. There's a lot of things to organize, but I really enjoyed it because one of my favorite things to find on YouTube is someone who does really in-depth reviews, because I enjoy like seeing people really examine video games because I love video games. I wanted to see it like grow as an industry and as an art form, and so criticism's a really important part of that because I feel like if something's not criticized properly or analyzed properly, the whole medium can't really grow because you just sort of accept whatever is being given to you.
Nice.
So, esteemed guest Paul,
Yeah.
what is new with you?
Alright, how new are we talking?
Let's say like
this
a week.
week?
Shit, let me take a look at my calendar. What happened? Yeah, not much. I have no life. I didn't have work last week, which I guess that's sort of new.
Nice.
Oh, that's always good,
So,
I think. Unless...
How was work? Tell us about work.
Okay, well, I have two jobs now. I
Ooh.
work, obviously at Donatime Studios, where I
Hey.
code things. And my other job is I work at Urban Kitchen washing dishes.
Nice.
Ew.
So that's always fun.
What is Urban Kitchen?
It is a place where you can sign up and take classes on learning how to cook food.
Oh,
Yeah.
They're like
So,
single
wanna-
lessons, right? Like
Yeah, during the summer they have like kids summer camp where the kids come every day for Monday through Friday, and then they learn like different stuff every day. And then Friday they have like a mini Iron Chef competition.
oh, dude.
ooh.
So Fridays are absolutely insane for washing dishes because you just get things constantly.
Ooh.
nice.
Do you interact with the kids or do you just wash dishes?
I watch the kids.
You learn anything interesting in any new cooking techniques or stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, part of my job is I actually have to help the instructor Like if someone's doing something stupid or incorrectly, then I'll be like, hey, you should do it this way, or you should not be retarded.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
in that phrasing.
In that exact
Yeah.
with that exact diction, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, of
especially
course.
to little children
Yeah.
who
of course.
actually enjoy playing with knives.
God damn it.
No, I mean, how else do you talk to kids? That's how I got talked to.
Oof.
Just chill.
All right. All right.
How
all right.
is
So-
how has work been at Dawn and Time Studios? Would you care to relay what you're working on?
Yeah, okay, so in the start of this summer, I started working on camera.
For what?
Camera movement, which for a game called Prison Project, which is a psychological thriller. And getting the camera movement implemented wasn't actually too hard, but getting it working without letting the player completely break the camera, that's always another story.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got stuck on that. Basically, what happened is I was thinking, okay, well, in terms of degrees, camera rotates 360, right? So
Yeah.
then I started messing with the values so that you can only you can't move the camera past a certain point, so you have a limited field of view. And I'm rotating it on the x-axis and the y-axis.
Mhm.
Or no, the x-axis and the z-axis.
Yeah.
But because it's rotating on those axes, what you can do as a player is you can move it along the x and then along the z, and the y will get messed up as a result.
Ooh.
So you can flip the camera upside down, which we don't obviously want the player to be able to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I tried fixing that, and all the values are in some other float value. So if you're not familiar with programming terms, a float, well, let's start with an integer. An integer is basically 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a whole number, and then a double and a float is basically a decimal place.
Mm.
So all of the values are in that, and I was having a really tough time figuring that out. But what I'm working on now is I'm going to be making a linked list for the text options that the player and the narrator sort of talk through.
Yeah, okay. Nice.
So, recently, Downtime Studios, well, while not officially, had a little movie sleepover.
Yeah.
And
Call it a company retreat. Make it sound professional.
We can't though. Ish was there.
yeah,
Also, Anthony and Will were not there.
Yeah.
that's true.
And Mikkel, you were
Executive
you were
company
there
retreat?
for all of like a couple hours.
Yeah, and then we
We
abandoned,
abandoned
him
you in a
pho
pho
shop.
place. You looked so sad as we were like exiting the restaurant. It was hilarious.
I think the funniest part was like
8
you
hours
tried
is
to
a
put
few
your
hours,
parents'
Andrew.
name on the list so that they could eat there.
And then it was
like,
closed.
Afterwards,
Yeah.
realizing
Yeah.
like, oh, this place is closed.
Uh,
Oh, they should have
8
taken.
hours?
Yeah, from like 1 to 9.
Oh shoot.
Oh,
count dinner.
I thought you said you
Yeah.
you were waiting there for another 8 hours. I was like, oh my god.
I was just sat. Yeah, this
At-
is Fallout.
at
I
the
was just
far
sitting
right.
there.
I'm
for
sure they would
8
have kicked you
hours.
out.
No, they were like, you know what, this kid looks sad enough.
Yeah.
Let's just give him another bowl and leave him here.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh my god. All right. So
We'll definitely be
watched-
talking about that.
Oh,
though.
yeah.
we watched 3 movies.
3?
and-
What?
No,
yeah,
we watched
3.
2. You watched 2. Start
Oh.
with 1.
We watched 3. You watched 2.
Are you
Two,
the three of us, Nishant? We watched like 5 movies.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Wait,
'cause
do you-
we started off.
Do you count the first episode of Firefly as a movie?
No.
It's an hour and a half.
I mean, it's not a movie though.
Okay.
I still think we watched
Alright.
like 4 or 5 though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right.
Cause-
We'll do a little rundown of what we watched. We watched the first episode of Firefly, which Andrew has finished. I had seen before, and Paul hadn't.
Bits and pieces.
We watched
Amadeus.
which was a very good movie.
Yeah.
Excellent
Especially,
movie.
We might as well just
Especially-
watch JoJo Part 1. Yeah.
oh my god, we
You
didn't
wouldn't-
watch.
I will sit you down at my house. We will watch JoJo.
JoJo.
We
That's-
should
This
do
needs
that.
to happen.
At
Then
some
after
point,
Amadeus, we watched the best movie of all time.
Of all
Was
time.
that
Oh my
one?
God.
Oh,
Spy Kids.
Spy Kids
3D.
3D. Except we
Of course,
didn't
this-
watch it with the D. We just watched Spy Kids 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just
It's painful.
hurt
I don't
too
know
bad.
how 10-year-old us were able to watch it.
I don't
with
know.
3D, but like, I guess we watched it in theaters though.
3D was
so
in a
they
weird
had-
place back then.
No, but
Yeah.
in the theaters they'd have actual legit better 3D glasses, not like crappy paper things they give you with the
No,
disc.
no, that was
no,
the
no,
stuff
they
they
were
passed
crappy.
out
Oh,
at
no,
the
this
movie
is-
theaters.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm thinking. No, I'm thinking too much later on.
Yeah,
'cause,
you're
like,
thinking, like,
nowadays 3D
Avatar.
glasses are good, but now but back then it was just paper 3D
Yeah.
glasses. I don't know how the kid versions of us were able to watch that
I
without getting
don't know,
migraines,
yeah.
but I can't now. It's just
I think it might have been something to do
Kids
with how it
nowadays.
was watched.
Kids
It was
back then.
projected.
So
I don't know.
yeah, so after that we watched
Blazing Saddles.
No.
we watched
that
a
was
little
way
bit
later.
of Best in Show, but then
Oh
Oh, yeah.
yeah, like all of
Oh, I need
5
to
you
minutes.
finish
had
that, yeah.
to quit out Macau, and so we went to get pho.
Uh-huh.
And we then watched Godfather.
Then Ish arrived.
Yeah, Easter arrived. We watched The
Oh,
Godfather.
I missed The Godfather.
You did.
Dang it.
Yes, you
Godfather.
did.
I can lend that to
That
you.
was a great
Um,
movie.
missed
No,
the
I'll
horsey.
watch it online.
Okay.
It's fine.
But yeah, always fantastic.
Make sure you have subtitles on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Italian subtitles for full immersion.
Ooh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
That movie is a marvel, like a masterpiece in filmmaking.
Oh, it's so good.
The first half that I watched of it, I remember being pretty good.
Yeah. After that, I think Ish left, and then we watched
Then we did Blazing
we
Saddles.
watched Blazing Saddles, yeah, which didn't hold
was
up.
that?
I don't think it held up
didn't?
as much as I thought it would.
No,
It wasn't
I don't
as
think so either.
it wasn't a bad movie, but like most of the jokes weren't as funny.
They fell flat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give it to
Oh, it's like another Spy Kids. Speaking
no,
of,
it's the opposite of
we
Spy
need-
Kids.
No,
I think Spy Kids.
What do you mean?
I think I was expecting Spy Kids to be awful, and Spy Kids kind of turned
No,
it
it
around.
was a masterpiece.
Uh,
It was a
I
masterpiece.
think I was
Stallone
expecting
stole the
Blazing
show.
Saddles to be amazing, and it kind of fell flat for me.
It-
I'll give it
Mm.
I think
to
that might-
Mel Brooks to tackle
Maybe it
like.
was the expectations.
I'll give it to Mel Brooks
Maybe.
to tackle the.
Because we expected Spy
the,
Kids to just blow,
the
but it didn't.
issues of the time, but like
Mm-hmm.
when it came down to it, just the stuff didn't really hold up, in my opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
There was like a I think that's a good segue into one of our topics, which is ranking like how you enjoy movies. And personally, I got the system from Jello Apocalypse on YouTube. He watches animated movies sometimes, and he rates them on a -10 to a 10 scale, where basically a 0 is an absolute bore of a movie. It's terrible, it's unenjoyable, and it's just a bad thing to watch. 10 is a champion of the genre. It's a champion. It's a work of art. And then a -10 is something so shit it's absolutely hilarious, and it's a riot with friends. It's
So
like,
it's right up there. That's where The Room stands then.
yeah,
On
it's like
that
ironic
note,
goodness versus good.
Talking about like Blazing Saddles and any comedy movie, jokes, they can be only good the first time around,
Right.
and it's very easy for them to fall off.
I don't
So-
know though, because I can watch like Hot Fuzz all the time, and that's like amazing.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
don't-
saying. Some jokes are only funny the first time.
Oh,
you
I
hear
see,
them.
I see,
First
yeah,
time.
Most,
yeah.
No, I'd say it's safe to say you could say that for most jokes.
No, no,
Like,
because
Hot Fuzz,
it's the same thing. I can
No, but it's in the minority.
maybe
We
or
can't
maybe
go and watch
it's
Spy
just
Kids 3D again
very
and then have
well
the same
written.
amount of enjoyment. You know what I mean? Like we enjoyed Stallone being a hilarious villain
Okay,
because we
well,
don't remember him being that.
Most
We expect him
importantly,
be
we need to
terrible.
go back and watch it in 3D.
no.
Oh yes.
No,
yes.
no.
And then we.
It hurt. I didn't want
It
to.
serves no purpose other than like as a
No,
weird
it's for
gimmick.
immersion. It's for
Yeah.
immersion.
It's not
man.
immersion.
There
You
is
saw
no
those frogs
immersion.
jumping at you.
The movie was made for 3D, and I feel like we'd enjoy it even more if 10 years from now we go back and rewatch it again and do another podcast.
Okay,
of
well,
us watching
maybe
it.
it's because I wasn't really paying attention, but nothing really stood out to me.
Nothing
as
jumped
something
out at
that
you
would
because it
be-
wasn't in 3D.
Oh my
No,
god.
that, you didn't let me finish. What
Sorry.
I was saying was, as a 3D movie, like both you and Andrew have said that it was made to be a 3D movie,
And it
but
was.
there were only a handful of times where I could actually say, like, oh yeah, this was definitely meant to be a 3D movie.
It was like every scene though.
No, I
Well,
see. Like in
Again,
retrospect,
like, from watching it in 2D, you're not gonna get the,
Oh,
this
yeah.
was meant to be 3D in every single scene.
Yeah.
I think that was just the preconception we had going in because we remember liking it in 3D as kids.
Because we saw it. Yeah.
I think.
no.
I think.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it
Yeah.
before.
I think one of the things about Spy Kids was that, like, made for 3D doesn't mean, like, oh, you can't enjoy it if it's not in 3D. Because essentially, especially in the early days of 3D was a gimmick. Like, all the cool 3D effects are all things made specifically to, like, jump out at the audience. Like, the whole, like, little grabby arm thing. That was meant to be like, oh, dude,
Grabby arm.
he's gonna grab the
claw
screen.
hand, yeah.
It comes to
They
you.
didn't
but,
use
like,
that at all.
that's not necessary. It's like, it
Who's
doesn't
excited
add
for
anything to the
43D?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that'll be in. That it's confirmed.
What?
Dawn Time Studios podcast in 40
It's
years
just-
in 3D.
That makes no sense. First off.
Lonely Time Studios,
Second-
Lonely Time Podcast 3D.
That's
You
what we're
can hear
calling
us in 3D. directions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sad that home 4D cinema never kicked off.
Oh my god, you realize how difficult that would be to set up.
That'd be
It'd be amazing.
expensive.
If I'm like a
No,
millionaire when I'm old, I'm gonna make
Like
a
a
home
4D
cinema that has 4D capability.
Like when people die in a horror movie, you just smell.
Oh
viscera and
yeah, smell-o-vision.
You know what? Yeah, that's something that I'm sad YouTube never came up with, because
What?
no,
That was an April
no,
Fool's thing?
no. Just hear me out. Cooking channels. It'd be so
Oh.
much better with smell-o-vision.
Oh, that would be.
But
See?
the hardware isn't
See?
there yet, Mick.
I'm not a dumbass.
I'm
no,
sorry,
it isn't.
but the hardware
But
isn't
then
Again,
there.
there's
Dawn
so-
Time Studios 43D.
We'll work on
do
it.
it. Yes,
It'll happen.
it'll be
But
right
then,
up there with our
like-
space program.
But then if you have smell-o-vision, if you watch any of John Time Studios YouTube videos, you can smell my sweat. And
No,
my
No, but you can turn it
desperation.
off though. That's the whole point. It's like 3D on the 3DS back in the day. People would get headaches, so they could just turn it off.
But then why would you pay for such a system if you're just going to turn it off?
People
No,
bought
you're
the
turning
3DS.
it off
You
for
need the
certain
real
videos.
experience.
You're not always using the 3D thing, are you? Like we didn't watch Spy Kids in 3D.
Yeah.
Speaking
because
of
it was
watching
shit.
Spy Kids, we need to watch the 2011 movie that apparently exists.
It's gonna
No.
be bad.
I don't think that argument is valid, Mikhail.
No, we should at some point. We don't need to.
We can.
Just similar to
Mikhail?
how Andrew doesn't need to set up a 4D theater.
I
in his
promise
house.
you we'll work on it. How's that?
Okay,
We'll work on it.
I thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So, moving on to the next subject.
Mhm.
All of us had gone on vacations this summer.
Yeah.
I want really quick everyone to go through the best and worst part of your vacation. We're going to start with
Oh, boy.
our esteemed guest Paul, and then we're going to go
Okay.
to Mikkel, Andrew, then me.
I went up to Canada with my sister. So the best part, hands down, was going hiking through the Jasper parks and just seeing all the sights. That was absolutely amazing.
Ooh.
Nice.
And then the worst part would have to be dealing with airplanes and the rental car place.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's just complete
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Personally, I really do like airplanes, which is strange because when I was younger, I used to get like motion sickness really easily. But like nowadays, I really enjoy flying on a plane just
Well,
because
like,
it's like,
okay, the actual flight is okay, but the rest of the experience is just ass.
Who'd you fly with?
Yeah,
Mark?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I flied with Air Canada.
They're supposed to be good, I think. Are they good?
Yeah, they are.
They were okay.
Okay. Did you
Cool.
get free stuff?
No, you had to pay for it. But
Oh, really?
Wow.
Including
I didn't have
like
anything,
pretzels
obviously,
and like
'cause I'm a
peanuts.
cheap piece of shit.
No pretzels and peanuts or soda.
No. Nothing.
Were they
pay for
Wow.
everything.
were they one of those that had like monitors on the back of the seats so that you could watch like movies or stuff?
Yeah, they had that.
Nice. Did you
Uh,
watch anything?
No, I never watch anything. I always listen to music
Oh, okay.
on the airplane.
Okay.
Mikkel?
Okay, best part of my vacation.
Wait, where did you go first?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went. I forgot.
The best part of my vacation is that it didn't happen.
Yeah. No, but the best part of my vacation, I went to the East Coast. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Life is definitely much better over here on the West Coast.
Hey,
Nice.
No,
West Coast, Best
just
Coast.
it's easier. It's more comfortable. I don't need to take a subway to get from I don't know Glendale over to Santa Clarita. I can just take the freeway and then park in front of the place that I need to go.
Mm.
Okay.
It is
Shots
very
fired
nice.
at New York.
Well, not just New York. Every
I mean,
city
you
on
can
the East
still
Coast.
take the freeway here.
Nice.
It'll just take you 5 hours.
No, I mean, it depends on the time of day and everything.
No,
Yeah.
it does not depend on the time of
The
day.
freeway?
There's always traffic here.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it
there's
depends on the
always
time of
traffic.
day and year. It's
Mm.
not always that bad. At least
That's
compared to New
true,
York
but
traffic. I mean, have you seen New
compared to
York
other-
traffic?
Okay, I'll
Okay.
give you that.
I'd walk faster than the cars in New York.
I have never.
And you've seen me waddle around.
I have never been to New York.
Oh,
Ooh.
you should go.
Okay.
You would appreciate life here.
Okay.
Solid city. Solid city.
It's
got great
You know what,
food,
New
though.
Yorkers? You're free to come on the podcast, defend your city.
Yeah.
Come at us.
Come and
Square
argue
up.
with us. I want that to become what Donna Time Studios Lonely Time podcast is for people to come on and
Just
argue
really
with us.
And
yeah,
vent. You know
that's
what?
why it's
Just
called
vent.
Lonely Time Podcast
Yeah.
because because it's like everyone's lonely. You can come on here and
Yell
you
at
can
us.
talk with us.
Don't yell at
Yeah.
us.
Don't
So we
yell.
have nothing.
We're-
better to
No,
do.
yell
we're
in call
sweet
with
young
us.
boys.
Don't yell at us. Yeah. You
Don't
don't. Yeah.
make it
and-
weird.
Use your
Yeah.
indoor yelling voice.
Yeah.
yeah, because you don't want to peak the audio. That's the
Yeah,
main
yeah.
concern here.
Of course. Of course.
Nishant, how was
Yes?
your vacation?
I didn't even get to the worst
you
part of
first
my
Oh, I'm
First
sorry,
it's
vacation.
Mikhail.
you,
Please,
but okay.
please. I thought the
Yeah.
traffic was the worst
Wait.
part.
No, that was actually a cakewalk compared to the flight back.
Ooh.
Oof.
I've told you guys about this in the
No.
Lost
You have not
podcast.
told
So
me.
please tell it again.
No.
I forgot.
Anyway,
First best stuff. First best part.
the best part was the food from New York.
Ooh.
The Italian food was
Ooh.
great.
Ooh.
Yes.
Mm.
Nice.
And worst part would have to be the flight back, because the flight back was, I don't know what it was, but there were a lot of storms and a lot of turbulence between New York and California.
Mhm.
There was a lot of air traffic, so we had to just taxi in the runway for a while, and apparently that's just normal
Shoot.
over there.
Okay.
I'm recording right now, ma. I told you I'd be recording.
We'll cut this out.
Ano kanina pa? It's been a half hour, ma.
It's an hour and a half thing.
It is. This is the worst radio show. I'm so sorry.
All right. Andrew.
You know, can I go eat and then we'll just reconvene? I'm sorry.
What?
No.
No.
It's easier if life is easier if I don't argue with my mom.
Okay, fine.
20 years of experience have told me
You
this.
can just leave your recording going, and you could just go and
But
eat
mute
and
your
come back.
mic.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah,
I
mute your
will.
mic.
How do I do? Oh, there's a mute button on the mic. There
How
we
long is it
go.
gonna be?
Oh. He said like half an hour.
Okay.
I mean, I'm eating a sandwich, so about 2 minutes.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah.
Unless your mom decides that you need dessert too.
Okay.
that's
No,
true.
dessert will add an extra 30 seconds. I'll be fine.
But what about second dinner?
Ooh.
I don't think he knows about second.
Another
dinner,
10
Paul.
seconds.
Thank
Smaller.
you, Andrew.
10 seconds.
Please, you want Lord of the Rings references? You come to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's what I was going
I'll
for.
be back.
I was like, let's see if
Bye.
I can get some
Have fun.
of the Rings reference.
So
This
Have
is the
fun with
best
dinner.
podcast.
it's best if you even don't like cut it, because this is life,
Yeah.
right? This is what life
yeah.
is
Mhm.
for us.
Okay, well, if he's gonna leave, I think I should be allowed to go masturbate now.
Whoa! Whoa! That is not in the contract. All right, Andrew.
Nishant,
How was your vacation?
my vacation was fine. I ended up going to explore Europe, and that was very fun.
Ooh.
As far as like best and worst, it's really difficult because it was a long vacation and we traveled a lot.
Mhm.
I think worst would have to be a combo between the flight back, and people are gonna get upset about me, but Rome.
Ooh.
Rome is great if you can appreciate like the history, and you don't care about bustling metropolises, because Rome's very crowded.
Ooh.
I don't handle crowds well. It triggers my anxiety
Yeah.
like crazy.
Ouch.
But
You were not alone.
yeah. Uh, the flight back was awful. There's no point
Ouch.
going into that, but like, I was delayed for 9 hours total, all the while being off and on and off and on the plane again, thinking we're going to be leaving this time, then just realizing that it's going to be another hour.
Okay, you have to go over why the plane was delayed in the first place.
The plane was delayed in the first place, because they didn't have some logo like painted on the plane.
Are you joking?
I don't understand. It's some FAA regulation, but like,
Wow.
they obviously flew before, like, as a plane. Like, they had to land there to get there. Like, the plane wasn't built there. So, I don't know how they didn't have the logo on the plane. But, so they had to do that.
I imagine a bird hit it.
Maybe. But then, they said they got it on, so they shepherded us all back onto the plane. And then, once they'd all gotten us all on the plane, none of us expected it to take off at this point because we all knew that it was some dumb reason. So we were like, this is not going to happen. So we were all back on the plane, and the captain comes on and says, the plane cannot take off now. It's going to be another hour, hour and a half. Or I'm not even going to bother telling you a time because I don't know how long it's going to be, because we need to lacquer the logo. And they shepherded us all back onto the plane for that, and they wasted our time. And I was like,
wait, when you said
man, because
when you said off and on, they actually put you on the plane and then took you out of the plane.
Yeah, we boarded the plane when the plane was there. When we were supposed to be boarding the plane, and we were a little rushed for it because we were like, oh shoot, are we gonna make it? And we made it. But so we boarded. Then we waited for like an hour. All the while, my dad's freaking out because my dad's claustrophobic, so like he was not doing well. So he was about to go ask like the pilot and people and stuff like that, like, can we get off the plane? When they came on the thing and said we need to stop the plane for a little bit, let you all out, and we'll bring you back. Not telling us anything, right? Like, not giving us any indication as to what's the issue or why they can't do it. Just saying we're not going to be going for a little bit. So we decided no one wants to be on a plane for hour and a half not going anywhere. So we decided to get off, and that was a whole issue. But so we went back to where we were boarding, or to where we were sitting before boarding, and then they brought us back on to tell us they needed to lacquer. So we all laughed at them because they were a joke. So then we got off again, and then they told us to get back on, and then we were leaving. We were like queuing up to get on the runway, and the pilot came on the radio and said to everyone, he was a super nice guy about this, said, I don't know how to even tell you this, but we don't have enough fuel to get to Los Angeles.
While you're in the air or before?
Before we were in the air.
Okay.
We were like taxied up and ready to go, and then he came on and told us that we not only would he not have enough fuel to make it to Los Angeles, but like some union was at like a peak for how much he was allowed to be working. So at that point, he would have been breaking the law by even like flying then, because he would have been up for too long, and he would have been endangering people. And I can understand that, but not fueling your plane seems like the basics. Like in any motorized vehicle. So then we got off the plane, and I was ready to like punch someone, because I think I was going on. So the day before, we woke up in Switzerland and had to take a plane out like way early. So I woke up at like 7 in Switzerland time. No, 6 Switzerland time. To leave at 7 Switzerland time. To get on a plane 8 Switzerland time. So then we got on that. So Switzerland time, it would have been about 5 in the morning by the time that we realized that there was no fuel in the plane. So I was going on 21 hours with no sleep. My parents were going on 23 hours with no sleep. And we were livid. Like, we could not believe it. Like, oh my gosh. We just wanted to get home and sleep. And they kept, like, teasing us, like, saying, oh, you can get we will pay for a hotel room, but the next flight you're gonna get might be 2 days from now, and people had, like...
Wow!
It's just a whole thing. So it was like a constant back and forth between, like, do we go for the hotel, do we go for the flight, and we were all of the opinion to just, like, get home and sleep. So we didn't want to take it. We waited another, like, 2-3 hours, and finally we were able to get on a flight and leave. No issue at that point. It was a fairly nice airplane, except for the fact that they charged you for, like, everything.
Ouch.
They even had the little screens on the back where you could watch movies.
Did you watch a movie?
I didn't on that one. I watched 2 movies on my way from Switzerland to Atlanta. I ended up watching Hacksaw Ridge and The Zookeeper's Wife. Both phenomenal movies. Both World War II movies. Which I was yeah.
Which is Andrew's personal favorite.
I guess so. I guess I like World War II movies.
I thought you liked World War I history.
I like World War I history. I like all of it. We had a super nice Uber driver on our way back. So that was nice.
Oh, that's nice.
But so those were the negatives. Positives, I think learning about coffee in Italy. Like, before I've never really appreciated coffee much, only as like a
tool.
A vehicle for caffeine. But in Italy you can really learn to appreciate coffee because they love coffee. They're like the inventors of coffee as we know it.
Welcome back, Mikal,
yeah.
by the way.
What do you mean? I never left.
Hello, Mikal.
Ha 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 ha. Funny.
What did I?
You missed a rant.
It was a good rant.
We're not going to go back into that.
That's okay.
Nishant, what was your top, best and worst of your vacation?
Alright, so my vacation was a bit of a strange vacation because it wasn't really like vacation-y. Like, I went there to help my sister move from one of from San Francisco to San Francisco, so it wasn't like a crazy thing, but like I wasn't there I wasn't really there to enjoy myself, but my sister's great, and so she took me out eating every day, and so it was, in essence, I like to call it a vacation because it did have a lot of fun. There was only the one day of heavy lifting that really sucked. And so so good stuff. What was great? I think the best part of my vacation was just like walking around the city with my sister, just because it was like a lot of fun. We got things to eat. We got to talk a lot. We had a lot of jokes. I think it was just a good time because I didn't do a lot of things in San Francisco. We did like go walking around to some tourist spots and stuff, but it was mostly about eating. It was mostly about eating good food.
That's the best vacation, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you like
definitely.
San Fran?
Oh, I do love this city because I personally don't mind crowds, but also I like San Francisco. I like San Francisco's just like being able to walk everywhere, just because it's a nice walking around city because there's a lot of interesting stuff going around. If it's like there's like going through the gayest neighborhood in all of the U.S., which is said with absolute pride. Absolute pride. It is Castro. The Castro is a magical place.
Castro.
It is a magical rainbow place.
Rainbows!
Exactly. It's rainbows everywhere. It's a wonderful place. Or if it's just like walking around downtown on Powell, just like going through and seeing like the crowd of cities and people. And a lot of people selling bacon wrapped hot dogs. A lot of people.
Bacon wrapped hot dogs?
That's just part
Yeah,
of
just there.
That's
just
amazing.
All right.
I never got one though. And like
Oh
we were
my
always,
god,
Why?
Nishan.
because we were always on the way to a place
I'm
to eat.
physically angry at you.
Buy a hot dog, wrap it in tin foil that they give
Go
you,
back.
and then
You
take
need to
it
go
back.
back over there to get one.
We're going
Better
on a
yet,
road trip
go
right
back
now.
and send some for us.
No, we're all four of us. We're going on a road trip right now.
I don't know what y'all are talking
Alright.
about.
Up
That
the
sounds
van.
gross.
Well, I'm picking you up in 30 minutes.
Andrew, I will destroy you.
That sounds disgusting.
You think you can destroy Andrew?
No.
I would
I'm
like
pretty sure I
to
could
see
eat
that.
I've been working out. Mikhail.
Oh,
Anyway.
God.
But speaking of amazing places we saw on vacation, can I chime in? I actually have something to say.
Please.
No, you had your time.
Oh, please do.
No, but that wasn't the best part of my vacation. That was. It was kind
yes,
of meh.
and.
But can I talk about this?
Yeah, please.
No.
Since we're talking about food.
Yeah.
So I saw the oldest neighborhood in America.
Oh.
It was just kind of a normal place. There was nothing in it. There were
gangsters
no gift shops anywhere, which is nice actually.
Back when it was New
Oh,
Amsterdam.
Okay, when you said there was nothing in it, I thought you meant like,
They're just a hole in the
nothing.
ground.
And I was like,
The oldest neighborhood in America. There's a ditch. No, but the best place that I went to for food was it was called the Federalist Pig over in Virginia, I think.
Nice.
what a name.
No, it's great. American barbecue.
Awesome.
Ah.
Delicious. No, because it gets a bad rep, right?
Mhm.
Like American food is just like we assume it's kind of bland, but when it's like Southern food and barbecue,
I
Mm.
don't know what you're talking about.
America excels.
Because I had burgers today, and I haven't had burgers in the longest time. So, like,
Oh,
Where'd you get a burger from?
High Life?
Okay.
a good.
I've
Uh,
actually not had a burger from High Life. How was it?
Dude, High Life is the best.
Eh.
High Life is like walking distance for me.
Andrew, I will happily fight you on this.
I mean, if you're comparing it to like In-N-Out, yeah, High Life isn't the best, but High Life is the best in like
But to be fair,
a mile
Yeah.
radius.
to be fair, it's like I like to think there's two different kinds of burger places. There's like the fast food burger places, and like the top tier of that, in my opinion, is In-N-Out. In like fast food burger places, top tier is In-N-Out, and then there's like the gourmet burger places that have like a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
That I haven't actually gone to that often
Have you-
because I've only recently been partaking in the.
Have you
beef.
been to Umami
Okay,
Burger?
where is?
I've heard
No.
good things. I've heard good
Umami
things.
Burger is the best.
But what would
So-
you say is the best gourmet burger for you, Nishan?
Ah,
In and out.
yeah, I haven't actually had. Yeah.
In-N-Out is
I haven't
not
actually
gourmet.
had that many gourmet. Yeah,
No.
I haven't actually had.
That's the
any
joke.
gourmet.
Well done, Andrew.
Yeah.
You managed to limbo under a really obvious
Huh?
joke. Went right over you.
Go fight me.
I haven't had a lot of very fancy burgers, but I do plan on at some point going out and checking out the gourmet places.
Oh, there are so many in Glendale, dude. I will
Oh, yeah.
get.
We should have
I
a Taco Tuesday, but for burgers. Where we go out on
A
trial.
burger
all
birthday?
the burgers.
Burger Birthday. It's like
That does
Thursday
not
but
work.
with B.
That does not
That
work.
does not work at all. We chuckled to support you, but that just doesn't work.
Okay, fine. Friday fries.
Yeah,
That's
that works
better.
much better. That's okay. Yeah.
Okay. But the star would be the burgers, not really the fries. But okay,
No, I mean there are a lot of good chili fry places.
that's true. I live near a couple.
Also an interesting concept.
They are.
Mm.
It's bean chili or meat chili, depending where you go, and fries.
I've been able to appreciate
I don't
that
know, it
because I
seems
don't generally
fairly
appreciate
Try
shit like
meaty,
fries.
beanie, cheesy.
Yeah.
No, because then you just kind of kill yourself with chili fries.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've tried it. It's delicious.
Yeah.
But-
All right.
Yeah, you
so,
just take two different chili fries from two different places, and then
All right.
Has anyone tried having rice with fries?
No.
No.
That
I
would
don't
be
think that would-
interesting.
It sounds like,
fried
too
rice.
much like
carbs.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
starchy.
not
Like
an issue, though.
overcarbing.
I mean,
Maybe fried rice with like sun-dried tomatoes or something.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
like a fried rice, but with the elements of
That
chili.
sounds good, actually.
That's what you
Yeah, dude, that'd be
That would
great.
be-
mean.
Yeah.
Chili rice.
Okay.
Chili rice.
Mm.
All right. So
So,
coming back to
Coming
mine.
soon, the Dawn of Time cooking podcast, ASMR fucking
Yeah.
meat frying podcast.
Yeah.
Uh.
All right.
So, Mikkel,
Sorry.
the Lonely Time podcast is sponsored today,
Mhm.
by Delta Airlines. Fly Delta.
Fly Delta. Don't fly Delta.
Yeah.
Unless we don't fly Delta.
Fly Delta
Yeah.
is subtitled
Alright, so-
seriously do not fly Delta. Who are we sponsored by today?
One of our other sponsors is Oh, dang it! This doesn't make sense unless. Oh wait, okay. I'll say my sponsor once I'm done with my story.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So. All right, so I think I'm just gonna interject my part, and then we're gonna go off with sponsor. Sorry, I'm ruining the bits. And so
you do that by default. It's fine.
So the word. Wow, I make those bits. How can I ruin them?
That was a delayed reaction.
It really
Wow.
was.
No,
It's
Sean,
because I wanted to say starting the story.
please continue.
Yes.
Okay, so the worst part of my vacation, there were like two things that were like kind of bad. It was like one, my flight got delayed an hour, but that honestly wasn't that bad, because like the air hostess, air host, he was not a woman, on the way back was actually pretty funny. He made a couple jokes, talked to some people.
Nice.
It was a good time.
Like Jungle Cruise?
Jungle
Did she
Cruise?
take out a gun and fire it?
No, it wasn't Jungle
Watch out
Cruise.
for the alligator.
That would be crazy. That would be crazy, but also completely
that'd have been amazing.
impractical.
Yeah, it would.
And so that was kind of all right. And then also at the airport, I got the frickin' airport security took my tiny little multi-tool because it has like an inch long little knife.
They took my nail clipper. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but which is weird because on the way there, I told them I had it and they were totally cool with it.
Oh,
They also
yeah.
took my giant bottle of soap, which is honestly my fault. But like, come on,
It's all
It was
bureaucracy,
expensive
man.
soap.
What one person
was
tells you is not the truth for one other person.
No. You got to work your way up the chain,
Yeah.
man.
It was expensive soap too. It was really upsetting. It's
You can
really
take
good.
my multi-tools, but you won't take my soap.
Yeah. Dude, I don't get it. Like, are you gonna make a bomb on a plane? In view of everyone?
No, I mean, I guess their logic is you're going to shove some sort of explosive material in the soap bottle, but like, if you'd go to such lengths, you'd do it.
No.
I don't know, in smaller containers.
Because
Like
they
several
allow
smaller
you to
ones
have the
that would get
containers,
passed.
Mikhail, but they just don't
They
let you
do?
have the liquid.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
you can
what?
take like empty water bottles. and
Yeah,
stuff there.
yeah.
Oh,
If it's filled with
It's-
water,
yeah,
though, you
it's-
can't have it, so you gotta chug it, like.
All right, so
I did
but
not
the
know that.
worst part is that on my vacation, I developed a deep hatred with San Francisco's metro system.
Oh, I never took
Okay,
the San
wrong with
Francisco
so
Metro.
there are 3 different trains around San Francisco.
Mhm.
There is the Muni, which is like the long distance one, which takes it from, I believe, South Bay, so like the suburbs around San Francisco, to San Francisco. That is the oh my god, I completely forgot the name of it. I just said it too.
Muni.
The Muni.
Not Muni. That's not Muni. That's
You didn't say it then.
God damn it.
You know,
it's
can
the
we just
BART.
say we're
It's the
sponsored
BART.
by the
It's the
Muni
BART.
and end this, please?
No, it's the BART, and
BART,
so
I know the BART.
that's the BART, and so that is
Yeah, he's
that
on
is
The
connecting.
Simpsons.
That's the South Bay suburbs to San Francisco, I believe. Then there is Caltrains, which is, I believe, North Bay suburbs to San Francisco, or I think it's just the North Bay suburbs area. And I don't know where they get their trains made, but I have a feeling they just reuse really old trains, because these trains are like double deckers,
Wu-Tang.
and they sound like they're from hell, like straight up. Like there's like,
I was gonna say maybe they're from
and
the
it's just
East
like
Coast, but
it's
no.
it's straight up like from your nightmares demon train, and it's so loud and just clatters straight through the city. Like, and I'm just like, oh, the train's coming, how nice. And it's just like,
Great.
and it just goes straight past me. I'm like, oh my
You ever
god.
take the blue line to shine?
In LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's even worse.
Worse.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
shoot.
blue line is most similar to the Muni, not the Muni, the BART, because it's wide and also a little smelly.
Yeah, yeah. Describes a
That's
BART.
what she said.
That's a key characteristic.
And then my personal experience, which is the one I spent the most time on, which I now hate, is the Muni, which is the San Francisco municipal one. So it's inside San Francisco, and so they're all right. They operate on the same tracks as like the original like cable cars. So, but here's the thing. That means they don't have dedicated lanes, and so you have to stop at stoplights because there,
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
because there's
yeah,
no
yeah.
dedicated tracks. You have to stop at stoplights and stuff, and so
That's bizarre.
that's lame.
It's like going through Highland
top of
Park on the
that-
Gold Line.
On top of that, they're also pretty slow. Like, they don't go high speed. You're never gonna see the city pass you by all excited.
Well, I mean,
like.
if they're going through streets, that's kind of expected. Do you really want that
Yeah.
scary train just tearing through city streets?
Yeah, man. If you got it like separated from like traffic.
Yeah.
No, but
like
it's
you
not.
do
He
it-
just said they don't have dedicated tracks.
Oh.
They
yeah,
tearing
like
through normal city
but
streets.
LA does. LA's got it.
You know what that reminds
That's
me of?
why I got used to that. What?
There were in Rome. There was like 2 different trains, and there were like what we call metros, what they call trams. And
Ooh,
the
fancy.
trams were like above ground, and they were nice. They're relatively new, you could tell. But like the places that the trams would drive looked like they were cordoned off from the street. But
Oh,
in
God.
Rome, no one cares. So I would consistently see like cars driving through like the trams tracks and
God.
stuff like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And so, so continuing on the story is just,
It's not done?
yeah, it gets worse. And so
Please.
they're slow. Sometimes
I don't think it
also
could get worse, Nishan.
the
It's
trains
always pretty
just
bad.
stop randomly. Just
They
do.
break down.
I stopped like 4 times in a tunnel. Just
Are there
cause.
like people throwing themselves on the track or something
No, they just stop. They
That's
just
a lot
stop.
of people.
for no reason?
I think it's just like I think maybe it's so that they're like exactly on time, and I'm just like that's the stupidest reason.
No,
That
I
is
don't
dumb.
think it's so that they're on time. I think that's just technical failures. I mean,
Yeah, because they
But
just
4
stop
times?
in the middle of like the yeah. It like
I mean,
they
if
just
they're as
stop.
old
Just
and
'cause.
rickety as
I don't
Nishan
know.
described them to be, I wouldn't put it
The
past the trains to
Muni's
just
no,
stop because they don't
the
work.
Muni's not that bad. It's not like the cable cars. It's like it's like fairly modern-ish. I mean, they look like 5 years old. But like, and so
Looks can be deceiving.
on top
Yeah.
of that, they're built so that they can stop on platforms, which are little raised sections in the middle of the street that you get off on, and then you climb down some stairs and you're able to go to where you are. But they also go through the suburbs, and so those don't have raised platforms. So sometimes if you're stopping in the suburbs, you have to jump off the train because there is no platform there for you. There is a drop. And so at one point I got stuck on my way out, and I had to like leap, and the doors closed on my leg and quickly let go.
Oh, that's good. It's good they let go because they don't let go in Rome.
Really?
Yeah.
So if I got
Imagine
caught
If
in
you
that
get
just
caught in
slamming
Rome,
shut on
someone
your
has
leg,
to like pull the
dragging
door
you
open
down.
for you.
oh my God.
It's
That's
the exact opposite problem in New York.
that's
They open
scary.
too easy in New York. It's why they say don't lean on the doors, otherwise you fall the fuck.
Oh
out.
shoot, really?
No, it's the same on the it's the same on the monorail. I took
Jesus.
the no, and this is no exaggeration. I took the monorail from I think Newark Penn station in New Jersey. Or was it New Jersey station? That would make much more sense. Yeah, it was a station in New Jersey, and I took that to Newark Penn over to New York.
Dude, that's a
And
good
the
place to
monorail-
kill someone.
New Jersey, yeah.
It's like, hey, we're actually friends. Oh no, we're enemies. I'm gonna
No,
kick
it's
you out of
it's like
fucking
the
train.
mob. Yeah, you just take someone on the train, like you know what? We're
Yeah,
gonna give you
just
the
shove
tour. We're
them
gonna
through.
take you to Jersey.
Yeah.
And no one would be any the wiser, except the monorails aren't that high up, so they just end up with a sprained ankle on the fall.
I mean, they'll
Nice.
get the message, which is the important part.
They will, yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we'll shove you from a train that's higher up.
Okay, and so no, but here's the thing. That's just the standard trains. That's just how it was. I was on a special little line. So I got on a train, and I was gonna meet my sister at the mall because we were buying some snazzy little sneakers for myself.
How
And
precious.
so I was on this train. I got on. It was one of it took a while to get there because it wasn't like peak hours, and so they slow down. And I was near the end of the track, and so the trains don't come that often. And so I got on the train. There was like 2 people on it, and I'm just like, okay, this is nice. And then like a third of the way through the journey, this train is now this train is out of service. Don't get on sign started flashing, and I'm just
Okay.
like, I'm already on the train. Where am
What
I
does that mean
going?
for me? Yeah.
Sounds like
And
you're
then
going back to Jersey.
and then
Nishan.
after three stops, the train changed type.
What?
Originally, it was
What?
the N train,
It
and then it
transformed?
was the J train, and I'm just like, okay. First off, am I being kidnapped by a train? Second off, I need to figure out where I'm going. So I check the map. Turns out the N and the J actually meet at Powell Station, which is where I wanted to go. And so I'm like, okay, hell yeah, this works out. And then, as we were going, suddenly we took a turn into a tunnel and started going uphill. And I'm just like, wait, I'm going to downtown. Why am I going uphill? And then at some point, I got off the train because I'm like, I don't know where I am anymore. So I got off the train, and turns out there's two problems. One, not only did the train change types, it also changed directions. So instead of going northbound, I suddenly was going on the J train southbound. So I was in some random area. And the thing is, that station I got off on was not marked at all. It was like a street corner. There was no indication a train stops there. And I'm just like, how are people supposed to know a train stops here? There was no anything. There was just tracks there.
That's sketch as fuck.
And I'm just like, am I going to get shanked now? And so I was upset because I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah,
and so then I called an Uber.
Ideally.
I was just like, I called an Uber, and so I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I was just like, just take me to Powell Station. I'm done.
Sure.
But then here's the thing. I put Powell ST, which corrected to Powell Street. And so when the Uber dropped me off, he dropped me off at the beginning of Powell Street. I was trying to get to the end of Powell Street. So I had to run, I was already an hour late to meet my sister. I had to run 5 blocks to get to where I was going. So I wasn't happy. I wasn't a happy camper. And that was the worst experience I had in San Francisco.
Exciting.
What an adventure.
So fuck the Mooney. It's a piece of shit.
So today Dawn of Time Studios is sponsored by the TSA. What Fourth Amendment?
Dawn of Time
Studios. We wouldn't talk about
out for additional screening.
Huh?
How you go through the normal.
Oh,
TSA
always.
line.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
In Atlanta,
It's
they don't even
they
bother.
caught
They just
my-
send everyone to that.
That happened to me
Yeah.
twice, actually.
Ooh.
Once on the way to the, I don't know if it counts as TSA, but I was going to Ellis Island and the Statue of Liberty. They saw the inhaler in the bag, and they stopped my bag for that, which I understand. It looks vaguely like a tiny gun. But at the same time, I warned them that there was an inhaler in there because my pockets were tight, like I'm wearing tight, all pants are tight pants to me, but whatever.
I wish I was there to see that.
Oh yeah, I look great in
Yeah.
those pants.
Yeah, Mikal, you have quite the belly. You don't know if people don't know if it's fake, and you're storing drugs in there. Come on.
Oh yeah, obviously. Me and my pounds of cocaine that I mule back and forth from the West East Coast.
Yeah.
West Coast represent. But the other time I got stopped at the airport because I don't know. I'm guessing they reacted to the big bottle of conditioner, because I take conditioner on the trip.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not supposed to because it's heavy and takes up space, but my hair gets terrible. It's rough otherwise. So I had conditioner, and then they had to take that out of my bag.
So,
yeah, they took.
And they
took
stopped
my
me to
soap.
do that.
Nishant, who is the Dawn of Time Studios Lonely Time podcast sponsored by today?
The Muni, I'm assuming.
The Lonely Time podcast is sponsored by the San Francisco Muni, getting you somewhere eventually.
Nice. Mikhail, do you have
Or
a
not
do
at
you
all
have a
in our
sponsor?
case. Yes, of course.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
The Dawn of Time Studios podcast, space program, and now 4D stream is sponsored by In-N-Out, the best of all fast food and apparently gourmet burgers.
Nice. Paul, I realize you're new to this, but do you have a sponsor?
This was not explained to me. So, is this basically we just give a shout out to something we really enjoy?
We were talking
No,
about
it was just
something we were talking
The
about.
idea
Yeah.
is something we've brought up in the stream previously that we want to pretend to sponsor the podcast.
Yeah.
By the way, In-N-Out, if you
Okay.
want to sponsor us, I will plug the shit out of
yeah.
you.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I probably should have asked at the beginning what this was because I wasn't really sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just
It's fine,
gonna
you
go
can get
flat
back
out
to
and
it.
sponsor Dawn of Time Studios.
Dawn of Time Studios sponsors the Lonely Time podcast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Could I also go ahead
word.
and say could I also go ahead and say that Dawn of Time Studios is also supported by Antonio Banderas,
And-
who's funding us solely from all the money he made from Spy Kids. Spy Kids 3.
Because what is he
Oh.
doing nowadays?
Swimming and Puss in Boots money. That's what he's doing.
That's what he's doing.
Also, just boots. I'm pretty sure they just sent him boots now.
A yearly supply.
Downtime
of
Studios. Downtime Studios and the Lonely Time podcast team would also love to send a personal shout out to Sylvester Stallone's very weirdly good performance in Spy Kids 3D.
As the Toy Master, yes. The Toy Master and his clones. Oh my god, did he do good.
Alright, I'm gonna be right back. You guys continue.
Okay.
He's masturbating.
Of course he is. Alright, so
I think
let's
we
talk.
should also say that we are sponsored by The Godfather.
Yes, he gave us an offer we couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, so let's start. So that's a pretty good segue into talking about how we enjoy movies. So I talked about the scale to being good and ironic goodness. Paul, do you find more enjoyment out of a good movie, a well shot movie, or do you find enjoyment out of a more stupid and silly movie?
Honestly, it depends on my mood. Like, there are times where I want to sit down and, like, actually seriously watch a movie. And then there are times where just like, yeah, this is great, but I sort of just want, like, to have shits and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially watching movies with friends.
Oh god, yeah.
Like, going both ways, too. Because just talking with your friends about, like, when we watched Spy Kids, we were just pointing out all the flaws and, like, random shit going on, and how the movie had changed from when you guys had seen it as kids versus when we were watching it now. It's just such a different experience.
And also now as avid gamers.
Yeah.
Like, back then, I was too young. I didn't have any of the systems. I had the GameCube. I didn't play online games.
Yeah.
So I had no frame of reference. I assumed, okay, Spy Kids fairly portrays online games. No, not at all.
The president of
The United
States
States
Sega
being George
Atari
Clooney.
Sega Nendo.
That was
My
the worst.
favorite line.
I like
in
that they dragged in Atari and Sega, who stopped making
who were
consoles
all
at
dead
that
by the
point.
time that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Spy Kids came out.
Yeah, and also but it can sort of be like a double-edged sword watching movies with friends, like how I kept doing weird Italian voices during The Godfather just because it was just too good and I just couldn't handle myself.
Luca!
Luca Brasi.
Every 5 seconds.
Frickin',
I'm
oh my
sad I
god.
missed that.
One of
Damn
our
it.
friends, Ish, fell in love with Luca Brasi, who is a character who dies
Dude!
very early on.
Wait, Mikkel.
Very early on.
That's not spoiling,
He's a
right,
pretty cool
Mikkel?
dude, though.
Let me check.
Okay.
Have you you've seen The Godfather?
No,
haven't you,
that
Frank?
was
Oh, this
that was
guy!
the whole,
I love this guy.
That was the whole.
No, I had to look up Luca Brasi because I haven't seen the first half of The Godfather yet. Yeah, rippin' Luca.
Yeah, sleep with the fishes.
He never did get those cannolis. Fuck.
He never did.
Luca Brasi sleeps with the fishes.
Yeah.
By the way, I did find out what a cannoli was when I went to New York.
Oh, they're
Did
great.
you like it?
They're overly
What
sweet.
is
The one
it?
I had was really overly sweet.
Is it
I
like a
don't-
bread thingy?
No, it's what it is it's this little hollow cylinder of dough, right?
It's a pastry.
I think a pastry, and it's filled with cream, and has chocolate chips, and it's covered in powdered sugar, depending where you
It's
go.
delicious.
Uh-huh.
The one I had, it would have been good, except like I was expecting the shell itself to be a little more bland, so you could taste the cream and the the sugar. It wasn't. It was excessively sweet, so I didn't have a good time.
Dang.
Pasta was good though.
Interesting.
I went to Boston
Nice.
and they had specialties on cannoli there.
Mm.
That was very good.
Do you know
We're
how
also
sponsored by
is the
cannoli,
dough thin
yeah.
or fairly thick?
It was fairly thick.
I'll just send you a picture. It's pretty uniform no matter where you go.
Okay. By looking at a picture, will I be able to tell?
No,
if
you can
the
tell.
dough is-
Yes, you will, because
Okay.
the picture just shows off how thick or thin the dough is, depending on what your definition of thick is, and whether the thick you're saying has 2 C's.
Oh my god. I was like, is Mikhail gonna make a stupid joke here? Yes, he is. That is
That's
always
just the
the
default,
answer.
Nishan.
Oh, I see them. We should make these. They look good.
They're probably
Yeah.
difficult.
Nah.
Yeah, that's why I was asking how thick the dough was.
Yeah. Alright, so Mikhail, do you find more enjoyment from a shitty movie, a really shitty movie, or a good movie?
Oh my god, that's tough. Because Like, on one hand, I really like, I have a frame of reference for this now because I
You
went
could
over
copy
to
my answer.
no, because I have a frame of reference now. Because on one hand, we watched Amadeus, which was
Oh,
fantastic,
yeah.
right? Like,
But we
every
did make
character
boob jokes during
did their
it. We
part,
made a
did
lot
their
of
part
boob jokes.
perfectly. The cinematography was great. The soundtrack, the editing was fantastic.
yeah.
And then we have Spy Kids, which aged about as well as Macaulay Culkin.
Ooh. Ooh.
Harsh.
I'm sorry, someone's probably
Macaulay
already made
Culkin.
that joke, but it's just no. I'm rooting for the guy. I loved Home Alone, but it's just he's gone now. He's just dead.
He's
in
not
ether.
dead. He's in.
Is he not?
He's in.
No.
Sunny. He's in. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
He does look like he does. He's a purveyor of
Yeah,
cocaine, though.
and they play on
He
that
is
in Sunny.
purveyor.
Of course they do.
Anyway,
Mm.
so yeah, I have on one hand I enjoy really good movies, but on the other I enjoy absolutely terrible movies, which loop back around to being so bad they're good.
Mhm.
So I don't know though, because again, I'll agree with Paul. It does depend on my mood. Because on one hand, I'll just want to enjoy. I would want to enjoy a movie for what it is, just
Mhm.
as a movie. But if I'm with friends, I want to fuck around.
You do
And
end
that's
up
the
going to a
difference.
lot of kids movies though because of your brother. So
Oh, you know what? That's true.
are
Like-
are most of those good or most of those
Well,
bad?
because it depends. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Because some kids movies they set out to make money and just be stupid kids movies, like the
Like Boss
Emoji
Baby.
movie or
Mhm.
the Minions, or
Ugh.
Boss Baby. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Boss Baby was not
Uh,
actually that bad.
I mean, it's not.
I'm just saying that
it
because
was-
I know Nishant really hates the
I
concept
know
of it.
it's so good.
It's a weird
it's
concept.
it's
We should
He's
watch
just-
it at some point,
no.
just so we can talk. No, it's not that bad.
I don't
I
really
like Paul and
understand the
about-
concept. Like Nishant's
not-
just explained it as it's a boss who's a baby, which I can fucking get from the title.
Yeah.
But
I
Yeah,
mean,
there is no other like reason. There is no
Nishan,
other.
that's like explaining Castaway as being about a castaway.
It's because
But it is!
the
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
the
You can't just
No.
explain that movie as being about a castaway.
advertising
There's
for
more
that
to
movie
it.
was just terrible. Cause like any ads you got
was.
for it didn't give anything other than it's a baby who's a boss of something.
and
No,
like
but that's actually that might as well be something
so
I talk about now because
is
it doesn't reveal too much
one-
about the movie.
One
I hate ads
specific
that just tell
baby
the
who's a
whole
boss, or all
It's
the
one
bosses
specific.
one.
No,
is a
it's
baby?
one baby in a faction of boss babies,
Faction?
What?
and he's just like a middle management. Yeah, yeah.
Because here's the thing. Here's the
Yeah.
thing.
You know what? I will sit you down and I will watch this.
This
movie
is
just to
hurting
watch
my
you
head.
squirm.
Let's talk about something else.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
please, please.
I
let's
want to
move
give
on.
I want to give my last little point on this. One, because you can explain Castaway is a movie about a castaway because being a castaway is something that can be think about. Like, oh, he's going to be by himself. Oh, he's going to be struggling for food. There's conflict there that you can imply. You can think about.
It gives you the conflict
if
right
you
away.
say, if you say Boss Baby is about a baby who's a boss, you're just like, what the fuck does that
No,
mean?
there's
they
no
have to start making
implicit-
up bullshit to
No,
create
but there's no implied
stuff.
thing to that.
Yeah.
What is he the boss of? Why is he the boss?
it's
Why-
not-
Are there like
it's-
middle management babies? Are there janitor babies that he like shits on because they're janitors and finish college? Like I will.
But
Yeah,
You know,
'cause-
we're the
like,
wrong.
that's not what he does, though.
We're the wrong demographic for that. Like
Mm.
it when it brings up the
yes.
question, it doesn't bring up the questions that are interesting to me. I don't care about this baby
Right.
That's true.
who's a boss. But like that was my weird issue. Like I don't know who's the target audience for that.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
another big
it's,
thing.
No, the target audience is children and their young parents. Like it makes references that are clearly for younger parents.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm not gonna go into it because Nishan is just clearly seething with rage at the thought of this, so I'm just gonna drop it now.
As
But
long as he's
my
not
final
seething with
answer
void
is-
rage, I'm okay.
Oh my god.
No, that's just me right now. Have you seen me lately? I'm fucking jacked, dude.
Yeah, that's
No, you're
Anyway.
not.
go to the
You're
gym every
really
day, man.
not.
God damn it, Nishan, let me dream. Anyway,
No.
so the final answer is I'd say I more consistently enjoy a really good movie over a really bad one because a lot of really bad movies aren't so bad they're good. They're just so bad to the point of being, what's the word?
Boring, lame, pathetic, upsetting,
Not
unenjoyable.
upset, never upsetting. Unenjoyable, that's the one.
Unenjoyable.
Tasty.
Because upsetting can be fun. Like Insidious was upset the shit out of me, but it was fun.
All right, Andrew. So you get a slightly different question.
Mhm.
Do you prefer a movie that asks interesting questions or a movie that takes place in an interesting environment?
Dude, I don't know. I think it depends on like mood and stuff like that. Like what movies would fit each of those categories to begin with?
Ask interesting questions would be something along the lines of like an example would be like, would you prefer like seeing Full Metal Jacket versus Jurassic Park?
Oh, I see.
Do you prefer a movie set in reality that gives some questions about reality, or do you prefer a fantastical?
But that's like saying
that
Jurassic Park doesn't ask interesting questions, or that
I know it does.
That
but like, it's
Full Metal
mostly
Jacket
about the
doesn't take
environment
place in a
and
really interesting place.
I think.
True.
I think you can make that argument for like anything. Every single thing that you can look at will raise some sort of question.
Every good movie should raise good questions and should take place in an interesting location.
So
to answer your question, both of them.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'll reword that a bit. Do you prefer something set in reality asking complex questions, or do you set something in a fantasy or in a fantasy, any kind of fantasy, science science fiction or fantasy that parallels the world comes in some way.
So House of Cards versus Game of Thrones, then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think in that case, if they're put one up against the other, it'd probably be the real world. Just because I don't like the parallels. I like to have the real world there, and that's what's there. I don't like the allegory as much. It just adds an extra layer to watching it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate stuff like Animal Farm like anytime, but like if I'm gonna be watching a movie or a television show or something like that, I think I prefer it to be in the real world in modern day.
Yeah, so like you're saying like you like fantasy to be any kind of fantasy, you want that to be more about like that world because it's inherently more like nuanced, interesting. It provides all this interesting.
Yeah,
so
you have the world at your advantage, so go crazy with it. But if you're just going to be focusing on issues that I already know exist today, I'd watch a documentary or news or something like that.
Or a mockumentary, I suppose.
Yeah. Mikkel, have you ever seen Spinal Tap? You need to watch Spinal Tap.
Yeah, we'll see that next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, crazy thing. One of our friends has not seen any of the Indiana Jones movies.
Yeah.
Which is,
you know what? I suppose that's better than having only watched Crystal Skull.
Probably.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
That's definitely true.
I mean, it had its moments, but it's just I was really disappointed with the end.
That's what's wrong with kids these days. They've only seen the Crystal Skull.
Nice generalization,
All
kids.
That is the only that is the only issue.
Including Gang Gang.
Stop calling him Gang Gang.
We always called him Gang Gang.
No,
Really?
we didn't. No one ever did this. This is a stupid nickname that he made up for himself and you love for some ungodly reason. Okay. Do you have a question for me, Andrew, or do we just want to move on to another?
Do you prefer fantasy or sci-fi?
Damn.
Yeah, because you haven't answered this question yet. You might as well
that's true. That's true. I like fantasy a little bit more, even though I feel like there's a lot more good sci-fi movies than there are good fantasy movies.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer watching fantasy just because like people making sci-fi movies have this strong tendency to just get as pretentious as possible just because everyone wants to be Blade Runner. Like,
you haven't seen Blade Runner. Have you seen Blade Runner?
Oh my God, Andrew!
I love Blade Runner.
Oh, okay. No.
We need to watch
I've seen Blade Runner.
I have not.
Yeah.
Paul's the one person in right now who hasn't seen it.
So next movie watching session, Blade Runner and Spinal Tap.
Blade Runner was in my film
I wanted
class.
to see. I wanted to see Blade Runner at the movie thing, but we got tired.
Yeah.
So Indiana Jones, Blade Runner, Spinal Tap.
Nice.
Well, Indiana Jones mainly because you hadn't seen that before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And because you
that's
can
just a
always watch
travesty.
Indiana Jones. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
that's definitely true.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and so I do enjoy because like fantasy provides a pretty easy base that people can start on, and then they can like add things on top that make things interesting.
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, I can definitely see why people would usually prefer sci-fi because it's pretty easy to fall into. Oh, there's an evil dude, and there's elves, and there's
Or an
Yeah,
evil
yeah,
corporation,
yeah.
which every sci-fi corporation is
No,
for some reason.
from the perspective of fantasy, he's talking about.
yeah, from the perspective.
Oh, sorry, I
of-
thought you meant like in
from the-
general.
No, from the perspective of fantasy, there's a lot of tropes. There's like a long, massive
long
list
list
of
of them,
tropes.
yes.
And so, while it can be boring, it does provide a solid base that people can expand on.
You're
Yeah.
right. And it, like, can I just chime in here?
Yes, of course.
I don't know. Like you said, people already know what fantasy is. They know what the world is. They know what the characters are. Like they know about the races and things, just because you absorb that knowledge by osmosis eventually.
Mhm.
Like you know what an orc is, even if you've never played any fantasy games. So
Or D&D.
What's Lord of the Rings?
exactly. That
Oh,
included.
mm.
That does D&D not count as a fantasy game anymore?
I mean, it's
I-
people.
I think it
It's
would.
okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
yeah.
Like I just think it's an easy way to get a new thing that you're trying to get pushed, like a new project in that genre out. Because you don't need to provide context for the thing. People know what these things are.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's just it for me. Like, you guys have said this before, and I haven't really said anything, because it's like, okay, whatever. But, I mean, yeah, for fantasy, all these things do exist, and they're reused over and over and over again. But, you know, you can still create different things.
Yeah.
There's nothing stopping you from adding in
course.
a new race
Of course
or
not.
something, and I feel like that'd be really interesting to see, and I'm a little disappointed that people haven't
No
one
done that
ever-
already.
Yeah.
Which, you know, sort of makes sense because it does take a lot of time and effort to set up a new race and figure out, okay, how does this coexist with all the other races and reinvent
Right.
the world in that way.
Yeah.
But I still think it would be sort of cool to see, or maybe even like Legend of Zelda has a lot of parallels to that. Like
Yeah.
the Gorons, the dwarves,
Yeah.
the dwarves or the elves,
Yeah.
etc.
I think it was really interesting because elves I think existed before Lord of the Rings, but J.R.R. Tolkien created all these like new creatures around it. That's I think why like it was so successful at the time. Like he created Uruk-hai and like orcs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It was really interesting because he fleshed out the creation and why they were this way versus that way and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so,
Good shit.
we're nearing the end of the podcast. So, does anyone have any topics they wanted to bring up that weren't scripted?
I don't think so.
No,
No?
I think that's
Yeah.
it.
All right. So,
Sounds
from everyone here at the Lonely Time podcast, we'd like to say goodbye. Thank you for tuning in, and we're hoping to see you next week.
Yeah.
Stay lonely.
If
Don't stay lonely. What? That's a terrible
Stay
thing.
lonely, my friend.
if you've disagreed or have opinions on anything that we've talked about in these, please feel free to comment down below. I'd love to see comments and I'd love to respond to them.
Yes,
Yeah.
and send us like angry letter, like physical angry letters at my address 123 Fake
We've
Street,
already
which is a real address,
we've,
by the way. So don't actually go send it to
we've
that person. I'd feel bad whoever lives there.
Nishant and I have already promised that we will frame our first death threat.
Yeah, there's the first death threat or death notice we're going to be framing and putting up on our wall.
So to sum up, if
Ooh.
you actually have like arguments, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
All right.
But if you have arguments that are attached to a death threat, we will frame
Yes,
that
we
shit,
will.
so.
Be the
Go
first one
wild.
to
Be
Be
send
the
in a death
first.
threat.
Stay hateful, stay lonely, and as always,
Stay
this
lonely.
is just stay lonely.
Signing off.